Okay. Yes, we are live. So welcome to the node.js Node API team meeting for March 17th, 2027. Not 2027, 2023. We'll follow our standard approach of going through things we've tagged for milestone 11. Does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share before we get started? Okay, if not, we'll move on to the first one, which is the drive towards full coverage. So Jack, anything we should discuss on that front today?
Nothing particular, but I think we've identified a fix for the RCI failing that got
Okay.
merged, and I think things are going through now.
Okay, excellent. So it was just like a test issue that we needed to resolve.
Yeah, I think it's one of the tests, the condition variables. I think it requires a predicate in certain architectures for some reason. So after
Okay.
that's fixed, it works now.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, adding the list of non-C language bindings to Node.js doc. I don't know if this was discussed last week. Doesn't sound like it. Okay. I haven't added debug testing stale issues, so let's flip over to there. I don't see any new stale issues. And since Nick isn't here today, I'm not sure. I don't think we have an update on this one. Although, wait a sec, I see this is now closed. Is that maybe it is. Okay, so we've completed that. So Nick did take a look. And we decided to close that out. Okay, so I'm going to remove that from our list here. I don't hide the comment. I just want to delete it. Okay, well, that's interesting. Resolved, sure. Okay. This one. I know Kevin, I don't know if you talked about that one last week. So I just see Kevin commented. Okay, so basically he ran Valgrind, get a very useful comment. And I think there's nothing for us to do on that one for now. So that's great. These next ones were on the feature bits. I guess Legendikas, sorry, Chenzong, anything we should touch base on those in terms of getting feedback or anything?
I don't think there is any updates, but I believe Vladimir has updated his PR on the default registration.
Okay.
So probably I'll need to take a look at the PR again and to see if it can be landed so that we can proceed with the next steps.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. And we should probably set ourselves some sort of, like, if you've gone out and reached out to the other groups, after if we don't have feedback by some amount of time, we should figure it's okay to move forward.
Yeah. Once the default registration method is landed, we can, like say, sum up a PR and have people comment on the PR instead, since that can be more actionable.
Sure. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. And it's basically we've given them a heads up and time to think about it. And so once the PR is opened, if there's no comments, we can go from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds great. And I think that's about all we've got on the list here for stale issues. So that's good. Documenting for checking, I think Kevin was going to take a look at that, and he actually had started, I think, right?
Yeah, there is a draft document Kevin posted it in
Yeah.
the issue.
Right. Okay. So, and I think we discussed a couple of weeks ago and said, yeah, that approach looked good. So I guess the PR or something would be the next step on that one. Okay. Maybe commenting on that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin is asking if, like say, he is asking in the comment if this format is okay. So probably we should determine where we can post this document to, like say in the
Right.
core or in the Node add-on API, or even a blog post.
Yep.
And if it is located in the core, probably we will see what the format will be.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I'll, if we can try and comment on the content itself, and then yeah, the other thing is like, okay, where do we maybe comment even on the doc where we think it could best fit? If
Yeah.
people can add that to their list of to-dos, I'll do that as well, and hopefully we can get that moved forward. Okay, this one I think we already talked about the contacts. I think you were already working on that and made some progress. I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention on that one.
We have Vladimir joined the group. I haven't get in touch with other runtimes.
Okay.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm planning to reach out to them again next week, so to have them invited to the group.
Okay, sounds great. And this what's new, we've already said there are no announcements or anything in terms of what's new at the beginning, unless anybody has another thought right now. Okay, otherwise I will move over to the Node add-on API repo itself. We can take a quick look at the PRs. So this one looks like Shenzong you've already reviewed, so should be ready to land, right?
Yeah, right. So several PRs submitted by Jack. I believe it's good to land. Oh, okay. One has already landed.
Yeah, I landed the fix for the flaking test, but this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, is it waiting? I guess it's just waiting on somebody. Shenzong, you had a few comments.
Yeah, this particular one, I was looking at it this afternoon, but I have to see why the cell is not complaining about the double free situation, so that we didn't get loose of any double free issues.
Okay. Okay, so that one's still working through, and then there's this one's a draft, and this one is fairly new, just needs a review, right?
Yeah, that one's ready to go, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. In terms of issues, right, in terms of doing a new add-on APR release, are there any PRs we think we should land before we do a release? There doesn't seem to be, we just looked at them, there doesn't seem to be too much open, except like the test ones I don't think are necessarily blocking this one, does it make sense to try and get landed beforehand?
Is the next release a major release or minor release?
I think minor would probably be would be good. We just did a couple, I think we just did a major, and like we're probably going to want to do a major in late April. So this one, is this one you're thinking a major?
No. I just want to confirm that we can, since this, so I think it's a good addition in a minor release.
Okay. Right. So if we're, I'm just going to add, do we have a Sember minor? Okay, let's just, so we say that's Sember minor, then yeah, maybe that one is worth getting in, right?
Yeah. Since the CI failure has been fixed, I believe I will grab some time to make the PR green again.
Okay. Okay, so once we get that one, then like maybe we can, we probably don't have too much else and be worth doing in a release, so. Maybe I'll just see if Nick wants to do this one again. Okay, and otherwise, I don't see anything new. Is there anything that people have that we should chat about?
One issue that is located in the Node API headers repository.
Okay.
But I'm not quite familiar with Windows platform, so probably people I'd like to raise it here, so people who are familiar with Windows platform might provide better insight on it.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not the Windows expert. I think like Nicola did the def file, which was for in the first place. So he's probably the best one to comment on that, right?
Yeah, that would be great.
So let's see, this is doing for Windows, provide def file for Windows import, but I thought, what do we? Oh. I thought there was a Windows def file somewhere. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else, like it's, no, those are includes scripts. I could swear Nicola was generating a def file somewhere. Is that a Node add-on API itself?
Let's see.
Maybe I'll tag. Right.
Oh, Nicola is in the attendees list.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I can promote him, sorry about that.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. So yeah, I'm late because here in Italy we didn't change the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time zones are always a pain. Yeah.
Yeah, we will change next week. So
Okay.
and here I didn't create the dev file because the main purpose of this repo is to provide the headers and the list of symbol, because I have some question about this. Which symbol we should create? All symbols? Is it right to create the file with all symbol when, yeah, it works, but if you use I don't know, Node API version 5, maybe it could reasonable to me to create a list of symbol for Node API version 5. So yeah, this is my main question about this. So we can provide all the that file with all the symbols. Maybe we can provide a def for a specific version of Node API. I don't know what do you think about this?
So if we provide it with all of them, I guess that the problem might be that could people somehow link against those even though the version they have doesn't have them, and that would cause a problem, or
yeah, they link with some that maybe that later maybe they don't have. Yeah, right. Essentially, if you want to use Node API version 5 and someone unlikely use some function that is in Node API version 8, for example. It works. It works if you use in the node.js, one of the latest version of Node.js, but if you use the previous version, we cannot assure that this works.
right.
So,
if they've used the proper include files, does that prevent them, or is the def file needed because they might like link against symbols without using the include file, or?
The problem is not with because in my code I can use I can define essentially in our header files we enable or disable some function using the NAPI version macro.
Yeah.
And so if we use a version, a previous version of a Node API, if we use only our headers, it's okay.
Right.
But at some point, you can define a function, a NAPI function that is not in our in other headers. It's it's a rare case. It's uncommon. So
Right. Because I'm just wondering, like, the one trade-off I see is if we create one with all of them and people can use that, then you don't have to change when you're using different NAPI versions, right? Like, but on the other hand, if there's going to be problem, but we could also make individual ones, right? But individual ones means that, like, if I'm using 6, then I've got to move up, if I've got to change the file I'm specifying, right? Which is not a problem. I don't know, right?
Yeah, they can use always the same def file. Yeah, it's right. It's okay with maybe we can create this def file and with all the symbols. But all the symbols.
I'm thinking we might. So go ahead.
I was thinking about the fact that we divided JS native API and the Node API, no? So
right.
But it's the same thing. So we can create one def file and if you use that symbol, those symbols is okay or not. So
I think your point of having like 2 def files, one for the Node API symbols and one for the JS native API symbols, that's actually a good idea.
Okay.
Because, like,
yeah, you're right. Because if you want to build for example Node API in JS core that implement only JS native, for example, you can you can use the def file the JS native def file instead of the API def file. Yeah, right.
So it might be like one has both, like the Node one maybe has all the symbols from both, and then the JS native one has just the symbols from the.
Yeah, I agree. So we need only the def file for Windows, is right? Because from that file you can create the .lib file or DLL file. So this is a thing that I want to leave to the developers essentially. So it depends if you use, for example, GCC on Windows or maybe Microsoft Compiler, for example. So in Microsoft Compiler, you use the .lib file. In GCC, you have to use the DLL file, for example.
Okay, but the def file will let you.
Yeah,
convert.
but you start always from that file. So
Right.
yeah, and if you see in CMake.js, they made the same thing.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I think the question was, so maybe we've agreed that it's a good idea, right?
Yeah, and we can create two dev files, one for JS native and another for Node API.
Yeah. Maybe this is a good idea. We will want two def files to be created. Do we have an idea of what the names would be for? Like, do we want to? So maybe it's like.
I think the same of the others.
Okay.
So we are yeah.
And JS.
And the JS native API.
Node API that contains all of the symbols. Okay, so that looked good.
Yeah, yeah. Today I created. I published a new release with some update on others. And I'm working on a pull request on documentation about create a new release. So and that we can talk about how we could automate this. So yeah,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's this one. Yeah, you were looking at this one and figuring some of that out, sounds like.
Yeah, so I won't describe what I do by hand. So then next week maybe we can discuss about if it's possible to create an automation for this.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, so we'd gone through, I think, the node add-on issues. Let's take a quick look at the node issues, if there's any. So so I don't see anything. Let me take is PR. I don't see any new PRs. Are there any ones that we should discuss there? I think this is the one you mentioned, Shenzong, that you were going to take another look at because it's been updated, right?
Yeah.
And otherwise, I don't see. So is there any other ones that we should chat about?
Oh,
Um,
sorry, go ahead.
no. I don't have anything to discuss.
Yeah, all right. I have landed the test for the finalization order at environment shutdown.
Yep.
So I'm going to proceed with I'm going to proceed with this PR and to see if I can land this. So yeah, that's the plan.
Right, okay. So this one, was there still an update that you wanted to do after that one? Or was it like once that one was landed, then it's updated to be specific enough in terms of,
If there is no further suggestions, I think yeah, we can go ahead with the current form.
okay. So yeah, I'll take another quick look there to see. Okay. Any others people want to mention or? Okay, well, if not, thanks for everybody's
Oh,
time. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just saw that discussed today you discussed about the next release. So we need only to land one paragraph, is right? And then
I
I
think
can
that, yeah.
okay.
Unless you know, anybody else had, that was the only one. But if you, unless there's some that like you were thinking of, but that's the only one I could see that we might wait on.
Okay.
Okay, well, great. Thanks for everybody's time, and we'll see you in GitHub and then next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye bye.